gonna focus more on the ontological and epistemological debates, and even methodological debate on the critical policy study. Please, Hugh.
Yes, my original intent here was to argue that there is no epistemology entailed in critical theory, but that's probably not quite the way to look at it, because critical theory can manifest itself in a variety of epistemologies. If by epistemology we mean something like justified knowledge or coherent belief, certainly there are multiple ways of generating critical knowledge and of justifying a critical belief. And critical theory can deploy multiple methodologies as well. The critical theory I'm most familiar with tends towards social constructivism, but critical theory is not necessarily derived from social constructivism. Positivism can also have a critical edge. I mean, you know, off the hand, collect the data on incarceration rates in the United States and compare them to, say, European incarceration rates, and you can develop a critical argument quite easily from that. And then take it another step further in control for race, and you're really building critical theory based on positivism. So there's seems to me to be no particular methodology central to critical theory. There are multiple possible methodologies. I mean, the sort of critical theory I do focuses on language, symbolic connotation, and communicative interaction, and presupposes social constructivism. This critical theory is contingent on historical era, on culture, on standpoint. And this sort of context can fragment meaning, as meaning can vary from culture to culture and can change over time within the same culture. Hence, I shy away from universalisms and nomothetic law-like generalizations. And nor does critical theory I engage have a necessary subject matter such as corporate capitalism or industrial society. But other critical theorists criticize social constructivism and prefer to posit generalizations about capitalism, about power, about authority. These sorts of critiques are less attuned to context and more attuned to social structure, objective facts, and reality itself. There's a sense in which critical policy studies is a form of action research, and this is a different point, in that the critique can lead to social and political change. The point is to change the world, not merely interpret it, as someone named Karl Marx once said somewhere. So I see two main strains of critical theory in policy studies. One tends to flow from, in contemporary policy studies, one tends to flow from Jürgen Habermas, the Frankfurt School, and the other flows mainly from Michel Foucault. Both focus on language and dynamic change, with Habermas inclining toward emancipation and consensus. This consensus comes after imposing certain warrants for discourse, such as sincerity, truth as a shared norm, and so on. Foucault tends toward context and multiple truth regimes and away from unities of discourse. So there's no shared ontology, there's no shared epistemology, there's no shared methodology, and there is no particular method of doing critical theory. But it does require a willingness to be skeptical of status quo assumptions, practices, norms, representations, authority, and systems of domination. Not only skeptical, but thoughtful, I would add, to have an ability to use one's intellect, get underneath things, and to see through the social constructions that are being put forth as second nature and natural. Those are my thoughts on epistemology, and that's where it led me.